Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is one hell of a game, and to make this video happen, I died a lot. A lot. And yes, I know, the game is already a little bit older, couple of years actually, but it doesn't matter at all, because this game is fantastic. We have great gameplay, we have 60 FPS on the PlayStation 5, and HDR in this game, it's just beautiful.
Welcome to a vision of Japan, unlike anything you've experienced before. Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, is set during the closing years of the Sengoku period. It's a time of near endless conflict and bloodshed. Journey into this unforgiving world shaped by violence and discover what secrets await in the shadows. Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice follows the story of a shinobi known as the Wolf. As a young boy roaming the battlefield, he's taken in by the owl.
What's the matter, Stray? Nothing left to lose?
The Wolf is assigned to protect a new master known as the Divine Heir.
You will pledge your life in my service.
As you command.
The boy is the descendant of a mysterious bloodline, making him the target of the Ashina clan.
Leave this to me. So the noble shinobi stands in our way. You must never forget the shinobi code. If your master is taken, bring him back at any cost. What is this?
The Wolf's prosthetic arm changes how he fights. This mysterious shinobi tool can be outfitted with an arsenal of powerful items, like the grappling hook. Use it to explore new areas or gain a tactical advantage. Break shields with the loaded axe. Drag enemies closer with the loaded spear, or set them ablaze with the flame vent. Stun and confuse enemies with shuriken and firecrackers, or deflect heavy attacks with the loaded umbrella. Mix these powerful tools with your sword to find new ways to kill ingeniously and tip the odds of the fight your way. Combat in Sekiro Shadows Die Twice requires strategy, and the same tactics won't work against every enemy. A master shinobi must be both aggressive and versatile. Deflection is just one way to turn an enemy's attacks into an opportunity. Each deflection will deal damage to an enemy's posture. Keep it up, and the enemy's posture will break, leaving them vulnerable. Use this critical moment to land serious damage with a shinobi death blow. Enemies at times will use perilous attacks that cannot be blocked. In these situations, you'll need to make a split-second decision. Will you risk great harm to yourself and attempt to counter the attack? Or will you use this moment to fall back and prepare for your next move? Success against stronger enemies will come down to learning their distinct tactics and responding with your own unique offensive and defensive maneuvers. You'll also find that certain situations allow for a silent approach. Use your blade for a quiet takedown, or eavesdrop to gain vital information about your enemies. In Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, you won't survive every encounter, but death is not always defeat. The Wolf has his limited ability to return from the dead using resurrection. After resurrecting, the Wolf is vulnerable. If he's killed, it will mean losing valuable resources and potentially other, more personal consequences. Performing a shinobi death blow or resting at a sculptor's idol will allow the Wolf to resurrect once again. With each battle won, you'll begin to unlock new skills that help you fight and defend. You'll discover Shinobi tools that expand the capabilities of your prosthetic arm and find materials like gunpowder to upgrade them. Your journey into darkness will be fraught with challenge and surrounded by death. But if you execute different strategies in battle and leverage the powerful tools in your arsenal, you can rise to any challenge.
Sekiro Shadows Die Twice does not support the HDR calibration menu on the PlayStation 5, but this is not a problem at all because we have very great working HDR sliders in the game. There is a little bit of a downside when you use HDR in Sekiro, because then you have very minor black level rays, very minor. You may not even notice this when you play this game in a normal bright room, but to have perfect OLED black, all what you need to do on the HGiG is to decrease the brightness setting from 50 to 49 and then you're good to go. So let's jump straight into the settings for HDR in Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, and all what we have is adjust brightness, maximum brightness and saturation adjustment. And I found those settings are working very well. So there's no surprise with the maximum peak brightness, and also the adjust brightness, which is more or less paper white, is just doing exactly what we actually expecting. Let's get into more details in terms of the HDR settings. So those settings at the moment are the standard factory settings when you press default or when you start the game for the very first time. And those settings, by the way, are actually not too bad, especially not when you play with HGiG. For dynamic tone mapping on the other hand, I found the brightness setting already a little bit too bright. So let's talk about my recommended settings for HDR in this game, and I like to make it very quick. HGiG is my recommendation to play this game in a dark room. If you play in a very bright room, use dynamic tone mapping on. Okay, so HGiG, and my recommended settings are adjust brightness to 4, maximum 5. Okay, maximum is 5, but then already you lose some details and specular highlights. Okay, adjust brightness 4 for HGiG. The maximum brightness for HGiG and dynamic tone mapping on is 900. I found 900 gives me a little bit more details compared to 800. It's most likely not visible when you play the game, but we like to have the best settings here. Okay, so 900, and saturation, that's absolutely up to you. I found 5 is a little bit too less in my opinion. I like to have a little bit more colors, and that's why I choose number 6 compared to, or instead of 5. Okay, so again, for HGiG, adjust brightness 4, maximum brightness 900, saturation 6. For dynamic tone mapping on the other hand, I would actually decrease the brightness to around 3, or maximum or minimum actually 2. So don't go below number 2, because then you will always already lose a maximum peak brightness in specular highlights. Okay, number 2, or value number 2, is the absolutely minimum in this game. Okay, and also I think 5, I wouldn't go above 5 actually, because you just blow out the picture. It doesn't look good anymore. Okay, so again, dynamic tone mapping on, my recommendation is between 2 and 3, or whatever you like, 4 is also fine, but again, I think it's just getting too bright. Dynamic tone mapping on 2 or 3 is fine for me. HGiG on the other hand is 4, maximum 5. To give you an idea why you shouldn't reduce the adjust brightness setting below 2, I measured and I analyzed a couple of screenshots like this one, and yeah, just have a look here. Maximum brightness is set to 900. Again, this is in my opinion the best value for the HGiG, or for my HGiG 65-inch. But below 2, I wouldn't go below 2, because right now the game is just asking to output 760 candela. If you decrease this further, you end up actually with 700 or 680 candela, which is way below the capabilities from this TV. With the adjust brightness setting set to 3, as you can see here now, we have a brighter picture, and also the maximum peak brightness is suddenly 800 nits, which fits the HGiG of course perfectly. So this value at the moment, or those settings here, are really perfect for dynamic tone mapping on. again, do not go below 2. 2 is absolutely minimum in my opinion. So when we now set this value to number 4, the adjust brightness setting, then this is, in my opinion, the perfect value for HGiG. You will lose a little bit of details here in very bright objects, yes, in specular highlights, because yeah, the TV starts to clip, because it's getting a little bit too bright for the TV, but during gameplay, I think that you can't notice this, okay? So right now the game likes to output 840 nits. Yes, that's too much for the LG CX, but again, during gameplay, you won't notice anything about this, okay? So in my opinion, those settings, what you can see here right now for HGiG, really, really nice. Okay, so let's summarize my settings for Sekiro. Shadows dies twice. I'm not even sure if I pronounce this right. Sekiro, I don't know. Sekiro, okay? Sekiro, Shadows dies twice. Great game, great HDR, and those are the settings, okay? So peak brightness for both modes, dynamic tone mapping on and HGiG 900, okay? Brightness setting for dynamic tone mapping on, I put number 3 in because that's the value I play with, but the range would be actually 2 to 4, okay? That's my range for dynamic tone mapping on. Saturation, I personally prefer number 6 over number 5, but again, this is absolutely up to you. HGiG, brightness is number 4. I wouldn't go below 4 because the game is getting too dark in my opinion, okay? So for HGiG, as always counts, if you play in a very dark room, HGiG is my choice to play this game. If the room is a little bit brighter, then I would actually go with dynamic tone mapping on. And again, saturation in HGiG, the same as with dynamic tone mapping on. Number 6 gives me a little bit better colors. I just like it better when the colors a little bit more poppy. I don't know, not vivid. I don't like vivid colors, but I found they're a little bit too dull, a little bit too boring with number 5. So that's why I go with number 6. Okay, my friends, so that's it for this video. I will continue playing this great game because I really love types or games like this. To be very honest, I'm a big fan of Ghost of Tsushima, and of course, see, I never touched Sekiro, I have really no idea how to pronounce this. Sekiro, Shadows die twice. It's actually very hard. The whole title from this game is very hard for me as a German non-native English speaker. But anyway, I have a quick question. What is this here? I missed something probably, because I'm always the tutorials, you know, I'm just clicking next and I'm not reading them, so maybe I missed something. But anyway, this game is really a surprisingly, it's absolutely good. This game is fantastic, and I never bought it actually before because it was always over $100 here in Australia, and now there was finally a sale. That's why I decided actually to go for it, and I'm not regretting it. This is fantastic. 60 FPS on the PlayStation 5. I'm not quite sure if it was 60 FPS on a PlayStation 4 Pro as well, but I haven't experienced any stuttering, nothing at all. And the 60 FPS, the feeling actually like 120 FPS in this game. This game is so responsive. It is just great. Can I go up here? Yes. This is just fantastic. Really, I really like it. It's bloody hard. It's bloody hard, but it's not, how should I say, it's not really unfair. Not at all, because you can master, or you can actually defeat the enemies after some training. What I'm doing here, see, that's the problem here. Oh yeah, okay, okay, come here. Come. Oh, there's someone behind me, shit. Who is coming? Anyway, this game is just fantastic. I really like it. I need to continue playing this. Okay, thank you very much for watching me. And if you're new to my channel, please do me the favor, subscribe, like and share. And yeah, I see you guys next time. Bye.